The hype is real! The Westland Wyvern, the turboprop dragon! Or is it just a plane that has trouble flying faster than 380 miles an hour and can only maintain that at low altitudes? Let's investigate. But alright guys, welcome to this video. Today we're going to be talking about the Westland Wyvern. That has been confirmed for 1.59, and we're going to be talking about the Cromwell 5 RP3. Now there hasn't been a dev blog of the RP3 or the Cromwell when I'm making this video, but I did see it on stream, so we're just going to be talking about it a little bit, and hopefully while I make this video a dev blog will come out for it. So let's go ahead and get started. So the Westland Wyvern is a British attacker primarily used by the Royal Navy, and that means that it is a carrier-based plane. It has folding wings. Additionally, it has Concho rotating propellers and a jet engine inside that powers the propellers. So a turboprop this plane is. Now I think the whole reason that the Westland Wyvern had two propellers or Concho rotating props was because, first of all, it had a gas turbine with enough power to power the two propellers. Secondly, when you have Concho rotating propellers, it cancels out torque, so that's much better for carrier operations. And thirdly, single prop planes create something called tangential airflow or rotational airflow, and there's still a lot of energy in that airflow. So what the Concho rotating propellers do is that it adds another propeller in there to take use of that energy from the first prop and turn it into more energy and not wasted energy. So that's another benefit of the Concho rotating propellers. Now there are some downsides with Concho rotating propellers. One, the plane gets much more noisier with the additional propeller. Two, there's much more engineering that goes into it, so more things can go wrong and you might have more maintenance time. And all that extra engineering, you have extra gears and stuff to get it working, will cause or will add weight to the aircraft, which will lessen the performance. But overall, Concho rotating propellers on powerful engines increase the efficiency of the plane by 6 to 16%, but you gotta also factor in that additional weight. So let's go to the dev blog and see what this plane has to offer to the game. Okay, so the dev blog says the immediately noticeable distinctive features of this aircraft are its unusual appearance in two Concho rotating propellers, but that's far from everything that makes it stand out from its contemporaries, excuse me. The aircraft is equipped with the turboprop engine, which provides an impressive weight to lift ability. So that is a cool thing to talk about real quick. Now later in the dev blog, they mention how it is not that fast, but you know, really compared to the 82 or any other attackers, this is going to be a high performing attacker in the game with a top speed of about 380 miles an hour or 611 kilometers if I'm not mistaken. But that's one of the things I forgot to add. The Concho rotating propellers does allow the plane to lift a lot more than it could with one propeller. So that means that we're going to have a pretty nice bomb load. I believe the max bomb load this thing can have is about 3,000 pounds. It could carry a torpedo. It was a carrier-based plane, but we have to wait for ships to come out for that. Also in the dev blog pictures, it looks like we have a ton of rockets on board. They look like 76mm rockets. At the same time, with this thing's BR, probably going to be above 5 in my opinion, or 4.3, 4 point whatever. 76mm rockets really aren't that good unless you get I've seen videos of people getting really good with the Firefly with all those rockets on board, and you need some pretty nice direct hits with those things to do any damage. One thing I want to feature real quick is the Wyvern's engine sound effect. It's pretty unique because in the game right now, we do have a Concho rotating plane, the Seafire, but we do not have a turboprop in game, so this sound effect is fantastic. So here we go.
Let me give you some of that sound. The engine sounds brilliant.
Самый лучший звук, согласен. Совершенно согласен с вами. Звук
sounds like nothing else in the
шикарный.
game right now. Awesome.
Давайте сразу же просто, чтобы вот не ждать, вы видите, да, эти 16 ракет под крыльями? Представьте себе, что этот самолет...
Okay, so
with the turboprop, you have to take into account that there will be prop delay. The jet engine will have to spool, or the gas turbine will have to spool up. It will create power, and then that power will be sent to the propeller. So there is a little delay in there, and as you can tell with that clip I just showed you, as he reduced power, the jet engines went all the way down, and then the propellers followed. He increased full RPMs, and then the propeller started to spool. So on landing, you really can't be a throttle jockey. You got to get that power set in for a nice glide slope, because the engine won't be as the plane won't be as responsive as a normal piston-driven aircraft. Reading on, they say apart from its fantastic frontal cannons, the aircraft can be armed with torpedoes, bombs, or impressive rockets. So they used impressive rockets. I haven't had really any luck with the 76mm rockets. Maybe these are different, they just look like that, but I know some of you guys can use them pretty well. But it is confirmed we will be getting 16 of these, just like the Firefly. And also, just like the Firefly, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Wyvern and the Firefly have the same flap system, which is flowered. I believe I'm right. What flowered means is that the flap extends rearward and then downward to create drag and lift and all of those other characteristics that flaps bring about the plane. Finishing up the devlog, they talk about the aircraft's speed and how it has trouble flying faster than 380 miles an hour or 611 kilometers an hour. And to me, that's not a big deal. And compared to the other attackers in game, this is a very high performing attacker. And that's really nice for Tank RB, because the quicker you can engage and disengage will keep you alive over the battlefield in Tank RB, because being there and being gone in a matter of seconds will allow the anti-aircraft and other fighters that might potentially spot you not have a chance to engage. But overall, I'm looking forward to this aircraft. Now, I don't know if I'll use the 1676mm rockets. I think I might opt out for the 3,000 pound bomb load. Now, I don't know if we'll get that exact load, but that is what it says on Wikipedia. Also, the engine noise is going to be fantastic. I'll be taking this thing out in test flight and revving up the gas turbine and revving it down and having mechanical orgasms. Now, there is one note to add before I end with the Westland Wyvern, is that it will be a premium aircraft, as well as the Cromwell 5 RP3. Now, it'd be awesome if you guys want to give some feedback on all the premium stuff we already have in game, and why things should be premium and why things shouldn't be premium. Just for my own opinion, I think rocket stuff should be premium, just because I don't think everybody wants rocket spam. And as you guys understand, rockets really aren't that good for its BR. Now the not the Charioteer, the Calliope is pretty damn decent, but other things at higher tier really aren't that good, such as the T99, I believe. But that doesn't count missiles, though. We'll have to wait for those ATGMs to get in game. Alright, so the devlog for the Cromwell 5 RP3 just came out. It's not the biggest devlog, but it does have some pretty cool information on this new tank being added to War Thunder. First to state, it is a premium. Just remember, guys, that there are a lot of premium stuff in this game, but there is also a lot of free stuff in this game, so just keep that in mind. So let's get reading. In 1946, British engineers performed an experiment with aircraft rockets on a Cromwell tank, installing 4 immobile rocket rails on a welded frame. With the help of some clumsy fixtures, standard aviation rockets were mounted on these rails. So pretty much what that means is that to aim these rockets, you gotta aim the turret. So wherever your gun is, these rockets will go. They were designed to destroy submarines and ships. What kind of rockets are these? Okay, so these are the semi-armored piercing rockets, the same as those used on the Hurricane Mark IIB. So these are the 76mm, or at least in diameter. I have the RP3 pulled up, and the warhead is a 60-pound shell. That sounds like a fucking heavy shell moving at some pretty high speed. So the semi-armored piercing, it says it's half armored piercing. So does that mean there's some high explosive capabilities behind that armored piercing part of the shell? Now on Wikipedia, there is a hollow charge variant that is heat in itself. I don't know if we'll be getting that one, but The semi-armored piercing 60-pound shell or 27 kilogram shell is confirmed in for War Thunder 1.59. Now the good thing that they did mention is that this Cromwell, even with the rocket system, will stay at the same BR 3.3 as the normal Cromwell 5 we already have in game. However, they did state, at least when the update is released, that probably means they're going to be taking some of the secret stats and comparing it and seeing if it needs to be changed at all if the rockets are overperforming. But at its current BR, I'm pretty interested in seeing how the RP3 rocket performs. We have a 60-pound shell with armor piercing and hopefully some high explosive filler, and it would go up against tanks, for an example, like a Panzer F2 or a Panzer IV F2, and that thing's front armor really isn't that strong, so maybe this thing might be able to one-shot from the front. The only downside is, unlike the Calliope that has, I think, 60 or 40 rockets, you only have 4, so you gotta be very accurate with this, with your shot. But unlike the RBT, the RTB, you know, that BT5 with a huge, like, I don't know what to call that, abomination of a weapon. But these seem to have, these are aircraft rockets, so they'll have a nice high velocity, so they shouldn't be too hard to aim, and honestly, they'll probably aim like the Calliope. So let's hear y'all's opinions and feedback in the comments below. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I cannot wait for the 1.59 update to come out. And on the end of that stream, I believe his name is Squirrel, or Squire. He mentioned another stream tomorrow on all of the new anti-tank guided missile tanks that are coming out. So I'll have you guys posted on that. But all right, guys, have a great day and peace out.